I know you just see all my stuff on my desktop. The mountain in the background is Arunachala in Tiruvannamalai in southern India, in Tamil Nadu. It's considered a holy mountain, and there's about 1,000 saints living in caves and living around on this mountain. So it's sort of a special holy mountain. It was, I visited there many years ago, but I like to keep it on my website. Okay, so we're Neptune, right? We're dealing with Neptune today. Neptune, when you read about Neptune, you get the dream, the fantasy, the illusion, the deception. You get maybe alcohol and drugs. You get codependencies. There's many, many ideas associated with Neptune. I like to call it the planet of romance and adventure, because we believe in something, we dream in something, we think someone's the best person for us, or someone's there and they're going to change our life, or like it's this factor of, it's kind of like a factor of faith or belief. What do you believe in? Do you believe in this? Do you have faith in it? So Neptune is funny because it's tied up in an outer way to our imagination and to our visionary picture, to how we believe the world is. And there's many different structures to that belief. Sometimes it can be the sense of rapture, or just faith, or negatively the lack of rapture, or the lack of faith, or the disbelief would be just as valid a Neptunian factor as belief. It also comes out when you're thinking of the vision of the world in terms of belief and faith. It can be belief and faith. It can be the your social conscientiousness or lack of social conscientiousness. So Neptune's in a sign for 15 or more years, so it's a long time in a sign. It's a generational factor. Uranus is a 7-year, Neptune is 15, 12 to 15, and Pluto can be 15. It can go up to, I think it goes up to about 30 something when it's in Taurus. Everybody has a certain way of looking at things. There's a certain thing that's the dream, that's the vision, and that people hold on to for 15 years. So if you went through the century, see, Pluto's usually the outermost planet in the solar system, but 21 years out of every 250, I think, that Neptune is outside. Pluto comes inside the orbit of Neptune, and Neptune is the outermost planet. Well, now there's many more planets, but this was a thing between Neptune and Pluto that made people believe that Neptune might have been an escaped moon from Pluto, or vice versa. It does have this funny phenomena of being the 21 years, which was the last 21 years of the last century, being outside more, and Pluto was inside more. So there's all kinds of remarkable speculations you can have of when Neptune's closer to the sign, when Neptune's further out and Pluto's closer, whether harshness and reality, or whether vision and dream or social conscientiousness can a wave of this comes in. So there's a lot of historical implications of it. I just kind of double check to make sure each of you are hearing me and everything's okay. Gino, are you there? Can you hear me?
Hi, Robin. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Sandra, are you getting the site?
I'm there, yep.
Okay, good. Terry, are you getting the videos working okay and everything?
Sorry, if you said Terry, yep, everything's good. Thank
Okay,
you.
good. Thank you. Zara?
Yep, everything's fine.
Okay, good. Okay, so just want to double check, make sure. I still don't know what happened the other day, but somehow the video had shifted to just videotaping me talking, not even my screen. And it was like 3 times the size of the other videos. So it's the sort of thing you would have expected to happen under Neptune. But Neptune, because it's belief and disbelief, faith and lack of faith, social consciousness and a lack of social consciousness. It has the dream, but it has the sense of loss of a dream, it has the sorrow, has the rapture and the sorrow, it has the guilt, it has the letdown, the blame. How could you do this to me? How could you leave me? I loved you. I do everything. Why don't you believe in me? So it has the messianic visionary quality. It has the sorrow. I mean, Neptune's a far out there planet like Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. They're not in our main normal common sense factor from Saturn and in. These are really functional factors we can see very clearly. You can't see these other planets, but their presence and our relationship to them certainly is there. It's almost insidious, but when it's positive, it's really incredible. When it's not, it's totally pathetic. So much the same. So you believe you believe in someone, and then they believe in you, and then someone pulls it away. And you feel let down. All the confusion, the sorrow, the disorientation. This is associated with Neptune. So what happens when we lose a vision? When we lose a dream? Well, we get disoriented. We start choosing. What happens when you lose your first choice dream and you choose the second choice person or the third choice person, and you're trying to still believe in them like they're the first choice person? Oh, it's not about the person. It's about a process going on within you and how you're believing in things and people. And each of these outer planets is a gateway to our spiritual paths because they create these extreme situations, very subtle. But when you clear them, they open you up to a greater sense of reality and truth. They open up your heart. But really, when our mind is tied up in it, we're thinking so far out in the world, we're way off center from being centered in the sun. So Neptune ends up being, as you go to disbelief or a lack of vision or a wrong vision or a confused vision. Someone can sit and meditate for a year and get a vision. Someone else could just drink themselves to smithereens and have visions, but then not remember. Many people get drunk and solve the problems in the world, but the next day they don't remember how they solved it. So I'd have to say Neptune's the planet of expectations. What we expect of ourselves, what we expect of others. The least you could do after all I've done for you is be nice to me. Least you could do. I loved you. The least you could do. Get out of my life. What? Or sometimes we can put out the guilt or the sorrow or the guilt, and it depends. We can make someone feel guilty, and sometimes we can be controlled by being guilty. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it. I'll make it better. I'll fix it. So you have, in alcoholism, you have the Alcoholics Anonymous, and you have the Al-Anon. You have the alcoholic with the addiction, and you have the person who stays with the alcoholic. Why would they stay? I can't leave him when he's down. I can't do why. Someone else has a different type of codependency. So codependency and the complications and the confusions that come from it, these are Neptune factors. Things that build up your belief and things that diminish your belief in yourself and in others. Well, sometimes we believe in other people more than ourselves. Sometimes we believe in ourselves more than other people. Either way is kind of has a little bit naiveness, distortion, or fanaticism to it. So wherever Neptune in the chart, something's not as it seems. There's a belief, there's a confusion. There's a tendency to look at the negative things first, but there's a need to be self-reliant, counters the dependency. To trust oneself, to rely on oneself, to rely on yourself, you have to have a guilty-free conscience or a very strong, dedicated social conscience. But many people will have a dedicated social conscience to overcome a sense of guilt, to try and pay off old guilt. We all have certain guilt, so I want to atone for them so we can get on and get clear. This is Neptune. I didn't do it yet. I didn't do it. I'm going to do it yet. Mea culpa, mea maximum culpa. All of these things, they're guilts and sorrows. So religions are based on it. They're like, confess and you'll be saved. This is a Neptune factor, a belief. On a high mental or emotional level, this can be very inspiring and visionary. But in a practical, worldly level, you get social conscience, but even where there's social conscience, there's often a lot of corruption or people not living up to it. So Neptune has association to illusion, deception, corruption, has association to movies and dreams, but also thinking I'm the best or I'm the worst. I'm trying to just get by in between. But we all have this quality of Neptune in our life, and our whole generation has a certain attitude to it. So Neptune in Cancer, First World War, was pretty well from the water sign Neptune. It was really started at the turn of the century, and it was the beginning of developing submarines and the First World War, and everyone's fighting for the homeland and the belief in the homeland. And there was then there was the great what do you call it, plague, the great, it's like a sickness or anything that took over Europe and England during all of these things. Neptune was confusing sense of a homeland, but people were quite ready to leave their homeland and go fight to fight against other countries or whatever during that. When Neptune went into Leo, the exact date of that would have been, or the exact year of that, right? Okay.